Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Unacademy. This is Success Sampath interacting with you. Excuse me. Right. This is Success Sampath interacting with you. Do you want to become IAS, IPS, IFS, IRS? We Unacademy, with top educators of India and meticulously designed quality content. We Unacademy, with top educators of India and meticulously designed quality content. I think it's right, I believe. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Unacademy. This is Success Sampath interacting with you. Do you want to become? Oh. This is Success Sampath interacting with you. Do you want to become? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Unacademy. This is Success Sampath interacting with you. Do you want to become IAS, IPS, IFS, IRS? Be Unacademy with top educators of India and meticulously designed quality content. We have been waiting for you, waiting, to shape you so that you realize your dream. Once you enroll yourself in Unacademy, ladies and gentlemen, you will undergo a wonderful, that experience. You know about the very Unacademy already very well. This is India's largest and the best online education platform. What are all the benefits you are likely to get once you enroll yourself in Unacademy? Again returning back. Whatever I speak, it's coming back after 5 minutes, all these things happening. So I started speaking continuously. What I spoke, that's getting repeated again. Now I am not speaking, something is going on. Exit, na? Stop streaming, I'll stop. Yes? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Unacademy. This is Success Sampath interacting with you. Do you want to become IAS, IPS, IFS, IRS? Be Unacademy with top educators of India and meticulously designed quality content. We have been waiting for you, waiting to shape you so that you realize your dream goal. Once you enroll yourself in Unacademy, ladies and gentlemen, you will undergo wonderful experience. You know very well about Unacademy. This is India's largest and the best online education platform. What are all the benefits you are likely to get once you enroll yourself in Unacademy? Of course, you got daily live classes. You can chat with your educator, engage in all-round discussions. You can also ask your doubts, especially genuine doubts. and also that you can participate in the answer polls. All these things you can do when the session's going on. You got structured courses here that's completely based on UPSC pattern of examination as well as syllabus, so that you never get deviated from the expected framework. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not knowing the stuff, knowing to deliver the stuff that demands practice. And moreover, it is not what you deliver, rather how do you deliver. When it comes to mains, you will come to know more about this. And we've got a mechanism to evaluate your preparation at various stages, especially by conducting regular mock tests and quiz programs, so that you get that detailed analysis based on your performance. You come to know where you are strong, where you are weak. Not only that, that the time you have taken that in solving a question, you will come to know. And beyond that, you got unlimited access once you enroll yourself in Unacademy. So the live recorded videos, the access you get, so you can learn from anywhere, anytime, whatever may be your electronic device, whether it is a mobile phone, whether it is laptop, even your desktop. Ladies and gentlemen, once you enroll yourself in Unacademy, you will undergo a wonderful experience. I think what you have to do for that, please download Unacademy learning app immediately, whether it is Android or iOS, that you are likely to get all the benefits we enlisted so far. Who is this interacting with you? This is Success Sampath from Chennai. I've got the unique experience of got exposed to the fields of engineering, management, and legal education. With 25 years of experience in the field of coaching, especially shaping the careers of civil service aspirants, with my team, I could witness 250 plus results as IAS, IPS, IFS, IRS. All my kids are working in different parts of India and abroad as well. And you can also ask me, what's your vision, sir? Yes, to provide career solution by enabling Indian youth to start and later to embrace the global community. Fortunately, this particular vision of mine is in completely alignment with Unacademy. We are working together to shape you so that you realize your dream. You become a leader. You become an officer of your capacity. So you can also reach me in Telegram channel, even in that YouTube channel, part of Unacademy, and Unacademy platform also as Success Sampath or Sampath Irvengidam. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not only me, that as I told you, we as a team, we are working here, more than 100 plus top educators, that waiting to support you in all your, that efforts, ladies and gentlemen. It is that way. Under UPSC Civil Service Examination, we have got more than 15,000 courses, subject-specific module, duration-specific module, so that you can choose your course according to, that your convenience and availability and budget too. Especially under UPSC Civil Service Examination, we've got two major programs. One is Plus program, another one is Iconic program. What is this Plus program? Yes, you got live classes, test series, and unlimited practice sessions and structured schedule also. So, that here you can go for 12 months program or 24 months program. Please use my referral code, say success, to avail maximum 10% discount. Ladies and gentlemen, more than this program, we strongly recommend you the Iconic program, which has got unique feature. You will be allotted a personal mentor for you, a personal coach for you. He or she will understand your nature and will suggest you study planner, and also you will be given a personalized feedback, and also that you will be trained in terms of answer writing practices for mains every day. Ladies and gentlemen, here you have the 12 months program and 24 months program. Please use my referral code, say success, that to avail maximum 10% discount. We strongly recommend this, as I told you, because you're going to be part of your bureaucracy, that for 25 to 30 years, that great things will take time. Better please concentrate on that this Iconic program meant for 24 months to the benefit more, to join the service as soon as possible. It is that way. Ladies and gentlemen, technically speaking, you end up paying mere 80 to 100 rupees per day basis if you calculate the amount you are going to spend over this. It's not even the consumption towards your evening snacks, but you ensure your career. Ladies and gentlemen, I think this is appropriate time for us, to enter into the very purpose of our today's interaction, the very, the hot cake. Of course, that appreciating all the, the participants, that part of UPSC Civil Service Examination Prelims 2020 today, and that you have to arrive at, from your the confusion whether I will clear or not, a cat on the wall. Of course, to support you. so that you arrive at decision. I appreciate you, and our advance congratulations to from the team of Unacademy, ladies and gentlemen. Especially we are going to see that set C, the set C or series C you call, ladies and gentlemen, the general studies you have written in the morning, but that key we are going to discuss, especially the keys of the 25 questions to start with, and you will get the keys. Of course, we show the question and tell you the keys parallelly, so that you work on it, that, ladies and gentlemen, and you can come to the conclusion what club you belong to, whether 80 to 70, 70 to 80, or 80 to 90. Ladies and gentlemen, this is right time. So the first question is all about what are all the advantages of fertigation in agriculture. This is talking about injecting the fertilizers into the irrigation purpose. It has got its own advantages, no doubt at all. The first question is all about that. As you have seen, the injection of chemicals into irrigation, it has got added advantages. This is more specific, especially fertilizer. No doubt the choice, of course, C, 1, 3, and 4 only. Of course, it talks about the controlling the alkalinity. You talk about of irrigation water is possible. So to reduce this base, or control to some extent, you talk about. Not only that, so it ensures increased availability of nutrients, to the plants, possible. So there is a saying also in the rural area. It's not pouring water on the branch, on the leaf, pouring the water to the root. Of course, by injecting straight away, that with irrigation pattern, that you speed up the process, of course. So availability of nutrients to the plants possible. Of course, we are talking about. Not only that, so it's also parallelly reducing the leaching of chemical nutrients, possible. That because of the running of that water, you might be aware. So that you ensure that particular fertilizer, that immediately reaching the plant meant for it. It's highly useful, the practice in agriculture. I think for the question number 1, ladies and gentlemen, the answer is C, 1, 3, and 4. Of course, that given the fact, that a lot of, that the bills, of course, related protests, the evergreen topic agriculture, and that goes with what are all the measures taken by government of India. Of course, that we take, so that agriculture moves to the next level and benefits the humanity and solving the problems of, that all the farmers, and maximization of productivity after the green revolution. It is evergreen revolution we are working towards. Hope you are aware. I think, ladies and gentlemen, this is right time. Let me take you to the next question. What is this? So this is talking about the Indian, especially in India, the availability of the other major minerals, or even from Indian point of view, what are all the major minerals that designated by the government of India. And parallelly, we are also talking about some that non-metallic minerals presence. Of course, the question, the 2 for which we are talking about, that 2, 3, 4, especially the choice is D, because chromite, that the oxides of chromium, you might be aware, and iron, of course, the chromite. And we are talking about that non-metallic, the minerals where we are talking about, especially metamorphic minerals, we call kyanite and sillimanite, ladies and gentlemen. So this is about our India is bestowed with a lot of that resources, you might be aware. We are yet to tap. Of course, though we are talking about Central Asia, India has got its own resources. And especially you might be aware that the Chota Nagpur Plateau and most of the wars fought, through history you come to know. So, and so no doubt, the question number 2 for which 2, 3, and 4, this is about, designated, major minerals from India, that you might be aware. And also we spoke about, that other metamorphic minerals. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think it is right time for us to go to the third question. It talks about, ocean mean temperature. You might be aware the temperature plays crucial role. Even you would have seen in terms of the warm current, cold current. Hope you are aware. For this particular question, that the very answer, the ocean mean temperature we are talking about, that which is correct statement, that especially no doubt answer is 2, because the ocean mean temperature collected especially during January to March, that can be used in assessing whether the amount of rainfall in monsoon will be less or more than the certain long term, that the mean. Ladies and gentlemen, it's all about prediction of rainfall. You might be aware India, given the fact it's monsoon dependent country, even the agriculture is called as gambling of that monsoon you're talking about. The specific capacity of water and land different, you might be aware. So it's not free from the impact of the very monsoon, not free from the impact of that La Nina, the southern oscillation. Ladies and gentlemen, that even El Nino, you are the 16 parameters, part of monsoon they're talking about. So the ocean mean temperature plays crucial role, especially taken between January to March we are talking about. So that decides, helps us to assess whether the amount of rainfall in monsoon will be less or more. That has got its own impact on agriculture. Then migration, you might be aware, you have to announce scheme like Mandrega to stop the migration. and which has got impact on budget, the budget deficit. Ladies and gentlemen, so the second point is correct, that. So the prelims, that quite straightforward and facts-based question, you might be aware. So you have to stay with, that answer B, 2 only, ocean mean temperature. Of course, Jan to March, that the assessing of, rainfall in monsoon, whether it will be less or more, that especially we are talking about it is that way. I think it is right time for us to move to the next question. With reference to the chemical fertilizers in India, see, once again, that it's not only fertigation, you talk about once again. So consider the following statements. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about, we are discussing the questions of, prelims GS, especially C series. The first 25 questions into, the discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you're aware. People who join late also, can go back and watch, from the beginning once I complete. Yes, with reference to the chemical fertilizers in India, once again, we are talking about, this is about, ladies and gentlemen, ammonia, which is input of urea. You might be aware, that you talk about, and it's produced from, that natural gas we are talking about. It plays crucial role in agriculture. You might be aware. Not only that, sulfur, which is, raw material for phosphoric acid fertilizer we are talking about, and is a byproduct of, oil refineries, ladies and gentlemen. So very important role played by, the chemical fertilizers. Even for the plant growth, you might be aware, you would have seen a lot of, that the agriculture related advertisement from, childhood age. Even the radio frequently comes, the role of sulfur, role of ammonia. Of course, especially the urea, the input for agriculture, ammonia from natural gas, whereas sulfur from, of course, the byproduct of oil refineries. Ladies and gentlemen, both are, the correct answer. Of course, we are talking about. So answer is B. This is right time for us, to take you. Of course, we have seen second thing, in terms of, fertilizer related and related to the agriculture. So and sources of all these fertilizers, that again we are talking about. So this is with reference to India's, the desert national park. Ladies and gentlemen, that it is, of course, you might be aware, protected forests, protected park and wildlife sanctuaries, the sanctuaries we are talking about, and endangered species and its habitation. All these things are part of environmental science. This year, let me tell you, that all these questions not beyond our prediction. It is getting repeated. Having seen 5 years of question paper, the same topics, of course. For the question number 5, that it is, the answer is C, which talks about, that the very Indian desert national park we are talking about, it is spread over, that 2 districts. That is the first correct answer. Not only that, we also talk about, that no human inhabitation, nothing to do with that. It is wrong. Of course, it is one of the natural habitats of, Great Indian bustard. We are talking about. See, this is the thing, that is the very purpose, the Great Indian bustard, centered around that by seeing the choice itself. But instead of that, consider the following statements that demands your depth understanding and, that addition and deletion of the facts. Ladies and gentlemen, this is right answer. The question number 5, for which you got, the choice C. Of course, you can go ahead. And the next question, of course, this is once again during Kargil war. Also, we spoke about the Siachen glacier, that of course we are talking about. This is complete, the geography centered. The first question, the north of, that Nubra Valley, that is right answer, nothing more than that. Of course, the closely related, the places we are talking about. So to distract you, that's why they are called distractors or stems. Ladies and gentlemen, for the question number 6, the Siachen glacier is situated. Its location, that very, very important from strategic point of view because of the infiltration of militants, that how the Kargil intrusion we spoke. Ladies and gentlemen, it is north of Nubra Valley. It is that way we are talking about. I think it is right time for us, to go to the next well. Yes, this talks about, the famous place as well as its, the presence in which of the states in India. Of course, we are talking about, it is that way, the question number, of course, for question number 7, the answer 1 and 3 is exactly correct. So the Girinagar, the Gir forest, Giri, of course, the Gujarat, that is right. When you got, that the 3, naturally, you can reject B and D, it is that way also. But, parallelly, that the Bilsa, we are talking about famous place, it is in Madhya Pradesh, we are talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, the question number 1 and 3 exactly put it, you forget rest of the things. I'm not going to discuss very detailed given the short span of time. You have to get the keys. You might be quite anxious. We were about to release 2:30 also. Some of the, the aspirants requested us, to be released, that after some more time so that they can also watch. They want to join the, the very discussion too. Ladies and gentlemen, there will be detailed discussion over the days for every, that the segment of GS. This is for only, the keys. So parallelly, I try to add some more points, to make it lively. Ladies and gentlemen, question number C, of course, none other than the choice, of course, A, that it is right time. Let me take you to the next question. Of course, this is talking about, that the Central Groundwater Authority, which talks about, ladies and gentlemen, so the statements related to that. You see all the questions application oriented, and it is very important for agriculture, very important, related to our resources. Ladies and gentlemen, that it's nothing beyond our expectation. This is right time. For this particular question, the choice is 2 and 3 only. The Central Groundwater Authority formed under the Environmental Protection Act. You might be aware, the very Environmental Protection Act 1986 we talk about, ladies and gentlemen, and in the year 1986 is mother of, the most of the legislations, that if at all you talk about amendments in most of the legislations, you have to go back to, and is it contradicting that 1986, you come to know. Of course, it is, that the Central Groundwater Authority we are talking about, and you might be aware, the World Bank and various international institutions released that we are heading towards, water crisis. That's why the rainwater harvesting, the water conservation measures, and even recycling we are talking about, and we are exploring, other avenues also to maintain this, the groundwater. Of course, we talk in terms of the very authority setup. Not only that, why India has the largest area under, the groundwater irrigation in the world. That's also, that the correct fact we are talking about. We utilize for, that the very, agriculture and other aspects. Ladies and gentlemen, this is right time. Let's move to the, the next question. Of course, that, yeah, the question number 9. That this talks about, that something, related to cyclone. That, the very cyclone and its devastation. The cyclone, parallelly bring, rains, and that's benefiting ultimately, that the very, that life. Not only that, to make the cool the planet of the, that the earth. Not only that, especially the very phenomenon you talk about, that in what way it's going to be, that helpful for agriculture. Sometimes it leads to devastation. The very cyclone, you might be aware, it is that way. So only some cyclones, that have eye. So that is the, that correct answer for this particular question. It's that rest of the things, that nothing to do with this particular question. Ladies and gentlemen, this is right time for the question number. Of course, the answer is C. And you can also go for, another question. This is talking about, see, apart from that, that the great Indian, that we talk about, that the desert, the habitat and desert, the species. We are also talking about that critical tiger habitat. Even, that you had criticism, part of environment impact assessment proposal. We are always running after the tiger, elephant, and we are not taking care of, other measures. And the very more than 500 academicians, writing to the Union Ministry of Forests, Environment, Climatic Change. You might be aware. This is about, that the tiger reserves. Which one of the following, of course, has the largest area under critical tiger habitat? That the tiger project, everything we are talking about, it that there it gets, relevance. The Nagarjuna Sagar, no doubt. Of course, Ceyl we are talking about. You got, the power projects there. So the 10C dealing with critical tiger habitat, that especially the tiger reserves you're talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, this is right time for us to move to the next question. Yes, if a particular plant species is placed under Schedule 6 of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972, what will be the implication? What is the implication? This is, the talking about. No doubt a license is required to cultivate that particular plant. Of course, you've got 9 schedule in the Indian Constitution. When you take, that there are so many things, that you keep there so that it's not getting altered, including Tamil Nadu government's, 69% reservation land reforms. Same way you got, the very environment. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about Schedule 6 of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. The license is required to cultivate the plant, that. So, you understand, the government has got the prerogative, the prerogative to decide, what you have to cultivate, what not. Given the fact, India is, that has got decent impact because of opium, the golden triangle, golden crescent, you might be aware, impact, how it is the terrorist financing, and marijuana. You talk about a lot of things, that it should not, affect ultimately internal security and pulling down the country's economic development or even peace. Hope you understand. So there comes, we get this justification. Not only that, and with reference to the period of, Gupta dynasty in the ancient India, the towns, Ghantasala, Kadura, and, the Ceyl were well known. Of course, we are talking about ports handling of foreign trade. Ladies and gentlemen, we keep on talking about the ancient Rome, Greek, that with, we had very trade, especially from South India, and even the, that lapis lazuli, the stones, even the spice, the pepper, all those things, the India was very famous. You might be aware, ladies and gentlemen. So that was, that much resource with which we were blessed. that attracted, most of the other nations, that of course during colonization and even in the ancient time we are talking about. So to invade India and to trade with India, and that apart from rich cultural heritage, we were, that we were, blessed with best resources to, of course. So we are talking about these towns, the Ghantasala, Kadura, Ceyl, especially the ports handling, that the foreign trade, we are talking about. It's especially the Gupta era, golden era. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about. So that talks about our, that shipment, logistic movements. Ladies and gentlemen, this is right time. Let me take you the question number 12. Of course, yeah, right time. Let's take you. We are moving to the question number 30, ladies and gentlemen. So what is, or at the advantage or advantages? What is the advantage, or what are all the advantages of zero tillage agriculture? Ladies and gentlemen, it has become a fashion. Of course, that it has got its own added advantages. That's what we are talking about. So the sowing, that sowing, you might be sowing, that sowing of wheat is possible without burning the residue of, the previous, because you might be aware the burning of, that residue, even the Haryana, what happens, the staple has got its own impact on, that the Delhi, the ppm, that the disaster Delhi, disaster Chennai, also because of flood. Ladies and gentlemen, it is because of the environmental impact we are talking about, of course. So without burning residue of the previous crop, you can go for, that sowing, of course, sowing, that of wheat you call. Ladies and gentlemen, not only that, without the need of, nursery, that rice saplings, direct planting of, paddy seeds, in the wet soil is possible. Of course, we are talking about, that and all the things happening, of course. And carbon sequestration in soil is possible. Definitely, that we are talking about. We bring and store, of course, it is that way. And we are talking about, this and all on the one side, that agriculture, on the other side, carbon sequestration, where we are talking about, that related to environmental angle too. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a very, that the trending on the part of, environmental, how to control, mitigate. Instead of adding carbon in the atmosphere, you can go for to contain, to mitigate, to reduce even. Ladies and gentlemen, so this is, that advantages of zero tillage in agriculture. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about. So all three, 1, 2, 3, the answer is D. This is right time, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move to the next question. Yes. Of course, see, once again, biofuels we are talking about. According to India's national policy on biofuels, which of the following can be used as raw materials for the production of, biofuels? Ladies and gentlemen, no doubt at all, that the cassava we are talking about, actually the answer is A for this particular question. Question number 14, we are discussing Series C of today's, the GS paper, the Prelims 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, the UPSC Civil Service Examination. Of course, so the number one, of course, cassava we are talking about, the damaged wheat grains we are talking about. Not only that, we go for, rotten potatoes, and also, that, ladies and gentlemen, sugar beet. You would have seen, that biofuel, that you can make out of this, all these, materials. Of course, they are the raw materials for biofuel, given the world, that exhausting fossil fuels, ladies and gentlemen. And we are adding more carbon in the atmosphere, and because of that, we go for alternative energy resources. So that is, that whether wind, even we explode, that less exploited, natural resources, less than 5% usage. That's why 1 to 3 agreement. The energy security, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about, biofuels, of course, from available, that you can go for recycling usage. That supports our, that energy security mechanism. This is right time. Question number 14, no doubt, A. It is right time. Let's move to the next question. Of course, see, social cost of carbon once again. See how many questions. It is application oriented. That expects you to be little bit socially aware, environmentally conscious, and this is the thing. So for the questions, what we have seen, nothing more than the two phrases: socially aware, environmentally conscious, and agriculturally sensible. This is what we can say. That's what, if you ask me, how to interpret the very questions. So which one of the following statements best describes the term social cost? Social cost, impact on society, ladies and gentlemen. It's not economic cost. Of course, when you say socially, it involves everything. The impact on humanity, impact on society, the social cost of the carbon, it is a measure, okay, but it is in terms of the monetary value. Ladies and gentlemen, though you talk about impact on humanity, but measure in monetary value, of course, it is that way, ladies and gentlemen, the long-term damage done to, especially the ton of, that CO2 emissions in a given year, that we are justifying this particular answer, ladies and gentlemen. So for the question number 15, the answer is A. Ladies and gentlemen, it is right time. Let me take you to the next question. This is about pulse production. See, going back once again, that all those, that Kharif, Rabi, evergreen topic, that the cyclone, that all this, that very the pulse. Sometimes core cereals you go for. Now it's not escaping the same question, same pattern. You understand the spirit behind the question. That you can never escape from the that UPSC's that of course increasing complexity. That's different. Here, come back. So this is about black gram. That can be cultivated both as Kharif season, Rabi season. You might be aware associated cereals. Ladies and gentlemen, it talks about that that can be cultivated that both season part of Indian agriculture. Ladies and gentlemen, this is right time that only one answer one is correct so far. I think it is right time for us to move to the next one. Of course, this talks about a particular crop, and that and what way. Of course, that it is subtropical, that after tropical, subtropical, you might be aware. And the hard frost is injurious to it. That the Greek called it sinden, the very cotton. That is the answer for it. Of course, that it has become sometimes you used to get about one place, and it's rainfall, and it's the humidity, the pressure differences, or something banking on a particular river, or very close to Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of that it is that way. So same is the case. They are talking about one particular crop. So you meet how the conditionality should be, especially its position, the latitudinal position we are talking about. It's not longitude, latitude, the subtropical in nature, and also the hard frost is injurious to it. It requires at least 2 frost-free days, ladies and gentlemen. It's very, very important, that people from rural area immediately will catch up, ladies and gentlemen. And not only that, the 50 to 100, that centimeters of rainfall for its, that proper growth. Not only that, a light, well-drained soil, that light, well-drained soil. Of course, it talks about, the irrigation capable of retaining the moisture, the moisture holding capacity. You talk about, that goes with, you might be aware, that the black soil you talk about is ideally suited for the cultivation of crop. Which of the following that particular crop, ladies and gentlemen? The answer is that nothing. It is cotton. Greek called it as sinden. In the history you would have read it. So it is about a crop, and it's the conditionality suitable for its growth, so that the productivity is maximum, ladies and gentlemen. So and this is a thing. It is nothing more than that. It's very simple. The question number, of course, 18. Yes, solar water pumps. It is talking about that solar water pumps, solar power. See, they are talking about solar water pumps, but very well, very recently, that the Madhya Pradesh Reva, the 750 megawatts, that the government, of course, alternative energy resources. Not only that, International Solar Alliance, that we joined, you might be aware. So, given that particular, the fact, so it is no more depending on, that, that the thermal or even water disputes ridden the hydel power projects, you might be aware. And it is that way, that given the fact India in its tropical location, ladies and gentlemen, it is that way we are talking about. The solar power can be used for running surface pump and not for surface power. Here, this is power, you can use it that according to your use, that no restriction. This is wrong. Wherever one is available, you can reject. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, go for let's do. The solar power can be used, that for running centrifugal pumps and not the ones we. What is this? Nothing to do with this technicality. Power is power. It's that it is that way, ladies and gentlemen. So answer is neither one nor two. It is appropriate. I think it is right time. Answer 18. Question, that question number 18. The answer is D. This is right time. Let's move to the next question. Of course, it is about the question number 19. The cultivation of sugarcane. See. A particular, that how the sugarcane, normally cereals we speak the same way. With reference to the current trends, the cultivation of sugarcane in India, consider the following statements. You might be aware there were a lot of questions in the previous years also, and comparing with other groundnut, the areas of cultivation. I'm asking you to identify. They will give you some few states, asking you to identify the proportion, the percentage of areas under this cultivation with other crops comparison, sometimes ascending order, descending order, nothing more than that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is right time, we are talking about for this particular question. That question number, of course, that 19, for which answer is C, 1 and 4 only. What is this? A substantial saving in seed material is made when bud chip settings. Ladies and gentlemen, it's bud chip setting we are talking about. It is that way is raised in nursery and transplanted. When in the previous question we have seen for rice cultivation, you can straight away go and instead of going for that nursery, straight away you can go for planting. We spoke, but here it talks about nursery method and transplantation in the main field. You see other way around. It is that way, ladies and gentlemen. Not only that, this is correct point. Of course, And we go for, that sugarcane can be cultivated using the settings prepared from, tissue culture, not only the nursery and also from, tissue culture, that application of science, that in what way it is going to benefit, that very agriculture, that we never hesitate. Thanks to all those institutions, ladies and gentlemen. So the, that 1 and 4, of course, the question number 19 for which C is the answer. So socially aware, agriculturally sensitive, and that environmentally conscious and environmental consciousness. This is what I construe. That the questions, that revealing, how you are supposed to be. So in the context of India, which of the following is or are considered to be practice or practices of eco-friendly agriculture? See, once again, this is what the problem we witness, when we take our product to the international market, the international COP Panchayat, WTO, World Trade Organization, they say, is it eco-friendly? Is it child labor free? People say non-trade related barriers brought so that, they block. Otherwise, anti-dumping duties are imposed. So that, these are all the, that the quantitative restrictions or quantitative measures we are talking about. So when we take our product to sell in the international market, ladies and gentlemen, whatever maybe it's beyond that, that even the agriculture, given the fact it's, that you might be the nitrous oxide and more than methane, nitrous oxide. Even the previous year, you had the question, part of environmental science, you might be aware. Even once George Bush Jr., of course, accused India because of your, ladies and gentlemen, it's because of the paddy fields of India, the contributing maximum methane. You know the story. It is that way, ladies and gentlemen. Eco-friendly agriculture we are talking about, of course, here, all 4 points. Yes, go for crop diversification. That it's ultimately, that it gives you more productivity and with less application of, less usage of land and more crops, less usage of, the irrigation. But it's no maximization of productivity, ladies and gentlemen. It is intelligent agriculture, you speak that way. And legume intensification, of course, you go for some beans, all those things, that you parallelly, it is that way. They can be reused once again for, they act as, that fodder like ultimately input again. And that we talk about, that tensiometer use, that these are all, of course, the measuring, that the technique we employ, and also vertical farming we are talking about. It is that way, ladies and gentlemen. All are, the correct answers. When you talk about eco-friendly agriculture, this is all, that innovative measures that we go for, so that ultimately, that we ensure that agriculture, what we practice today, is eco-friendly. That's not going against, that environmental standards or degradation associated with that. Ladies and gentlemen, 1, 2, 3, and 4 for the question number 20. That's the answer. It is right time for us to move to the question number 21. This is about cultural history of India. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about, that the pairing. They are asking you to pair. Which of the above pairs are given or correctly matched? Of course, it is, that none other than the B. 1 and 3 we are talking about, Parivrajaka, that renunciant and wanderer. Of course, you talk about, that, even the Hindu system, Hinduism, especially in India, majority of the Hindus, of course, Indian way of life is almost called Hindu way of life. Of course, you should not, keep distance with your other minority brothers. We are all one as Indians. That's different story. In Hinduism, Brahmacharin, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi. So Brahmacharin, student stage, Grahastha, of course, family life. And that Vanaprastha, of course, you talk about wanderer. Of course, the very renunciation that happens, that in sannyasam. Ladies and gentlemen, it is that way. So Parivrajaka is all about, that this particular, related to this. And not only, Upasaka, that you talk about, it is lay follower of, that Buddhism, Upasaka, that you talk about, that, a lot of things you would have heard, that Upadhyaya, Upanyas, all those things. Ladies and gentlemen, it is right time. When it comes to history, it's facts. It's not only history. Even the whole prelims, straight, simple, factual oriented. It is testing your awareness. Some consider the following statements. The clarity or depth is needed. Otherwise, it's same. So the question number 21, ladies and gentlemen, the answer is 1 and 3. It is right time for us to take you to the next question with reference to the Indian elephants. Ladies and gentlemen, just now we spoke tiger. Now we are talking about, that that Indian elephants. Of course, you have to understand, consider the following statement. Is that way? So the answer is, of course, no doubt. They are asking you to identify the correct. It is 1 and 2 only. 1. The leader of an elephant group is male. See, hello, it's not only leader in, that elephant group. Even every home it is like that because your mother. So after that, sometimes, that because the heart should rule the home. So we give, space to our mom, our sisters, and even, that the married people giving space to wife, because, that the women-centric family moves to the next level. so that that we give we practice gender justice. Not only that, ladies and gentlemen, we spoke already that if you want to know how the countries, how you treat your women, it is that way, ladies and gentlemen. It is not only in humanity, even in animal species, animal society. The leader of the elephant group, of course, female, maybe following, in the Kerala associated with the elephants, of course, the matriarchal society, even head of the family is, female in Kerala. So that goes to your mind, ladies and gentlemen. The maximum gestation period, of course, you know very well, it is 22 months. You might be aware it is that way. So both facts are correct. I think, ladies and gentlemen, for the question number 22, it is 1 and 2. See, Indian elephants, Indian tiger, the block, that even the desert system, that associated habitat. We spoke everything, ladies and gentlemen. The environmental consciousness, ladies and gentlemen, it is right time. Protected areas. See, once again, environmental consciousness. Protected areas, that located in Cauvery basin, no doubt at all. 1, 3, 4. We are talking about nothing to do with, second, because, the Nagarhole National Park, of course, that the Karnataka, no doubt, Satyamangalam, of course, tiger reserves, it is spread over. You might be aware, even the forest brigade, Veerappan, you talk about, tiger reserves. And Wayanad Kerala Wildlife Sanctuary, that 1, 3, 4 connected, no doubt. It is protected areas located in the Cauvery basin. See, so, that any basin, the protected forests, protected areas, the wildlife, that sanctuaries, wildlife, that species, endangered species, the UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Ladies and gentlemen, nothing more than that. It's perfectly within the prediction, that 1, 3, and 4. I expect, a lot of you, that would have performed fantastic. I think it is right time to take you to the next question with reference to India's biodiversity. They're talking about all these. Ceylon, frogmouth, and, the Coppersmith barbet, and great twin, mini-weight, and white-throated redstart. They're talking about, it's all about, the birds we are talking about. I think the Batshi Rajan, the robo, the 2.0, you would have watched. I think it is right time, ladies and gentlemen. I think, of course, that you would have some, that information you would have gathered, probably, that you would have done this fantastic. I believe it's about birds, and its very thing is that, given our advanced communication using the science and technology, the very radiation, the towers, we build in the name of, that it's ultimately going against all these species. Even there is one place in Salim, that Ali, ornithologist, the Salim Ali, that the sanctuary, especially, that nearby the Unacademy place, nearby Coimbatore. You are well aware, ladies and gentlemen. This is right time, that let me take you, that the last question of, this series of tasks, of course, this series of talk, sharing, the keys. After a break, we'll be joining again for, that another, the 50 or 25 questions, and, that you'll be getting. So which one of the following protected areas, well known? It's again, once again, protected areas, for the conservation of subspecies of, Indian swamp deer. It's otherwise called Barasinga. That thrives well on hard ground and is exclusively of course, graminivorous. You're talking about completely relying on grass. The graminivorous is nothing, herbivorous, omnivorous, the carnivorous they're talking about, herbivorous eating plant, but it is more specific about, eating mere grass. So graminivorous we are talking about, ladies and gentlemen, the question is all about, the protected areas well known for conservation of subspecies of Indian swamp deer. Swamp deer, very well, Barasinga. It's Kanha National Park, you might be well aware. This is, that right. So the question number 25A, rest of the things don't get confused. Ladies and gentlemen, this is right time, that welcome to Unacademy once again. That, ladies and gentlemen, this is Success Sampath so far interacted with you. Please use my referral code to avail, maximum 10% discount, and please use, that iconic, that the code is part of UPSC Civil Services Examination. Ladies and gentlemen, all the 5 years questions, that we discussed, the very wide angle approach we practice, that questions never exceeded from that. I think, all the aspirants attended the class definitely would have benefited. I hope, all of you watching, that I wish you once again all the very best and best of luck. We are going to meet once again with, that more questions, that, and you can please watch in YouTube channel regularly. This is Success Sampath. Welcome to Unacademy. Thank you so much, for your passion, ladies and gentlemen. Wishing you all the very best once again. Thank you.